welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we've got one very clear goal. We're going to cut right through all that AI hype you've been hearing and show you exactly how artificial intelligence actually drives real, measurable business growth. No fluff, no buzzwords. We're talking about the actual playbook on how companies are moving from basic AI tools all the way up to true one-to-one customer personalization. So, why does this matter right now? Well, companies that are leading the charge in personalization are generating 40% more revenue. Let that sink in. And that massive gap, it's driven almost entirely by AI. On the flip side, you know that feeling when you're chased around the internet by an ad for shoes you literally already bought? Yeah, 76% of consumers get incredibly frustrated by those kinds of impersonal interactions. Getting this right has a massive return on investment, and honestly, ignoring it is just as costly. All right, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll kick things off with small teams, big AI tools, then move into scaling one-on-one personalization. After that, we'll hit the essential data foundation, cover privacy, ethics, and governance, and wrap up with the phased AI rollout. Let's just dive right into section 1, small teams, big AI tools. We're going to look at how lean teams, say 20 to 50 people, can immediately start using AI to automate all that everyday, repeatable work. The thing is, the AI tool landscape right now is incredibly accessible. You absolutely do not need some massive enterprise budget to get in the game. Take platforms like Folk CRM, for example. It uses AI to keep your pipelines perfectly organized, and it's just $20 a user per month. Or Zapier, which uses AI to route data and enrich records, totally eliminating that soul-crushing copy-pasting we all hate. These tools literally solve tedious jobs from start to finish for the cost of a few cups of coffee. And when you start integrating these tools, you essentially compress your team's communication time and give them, well, superpowers. Need some on-brand visuals fast but don't have a designer handy? Boom, Canva Magic Studio. Want to scale internal training? Loom AI will auto-generate chapters for video explainers you can use over and over. Throw in Slack AI for instant thread summaries or Microsoft Copilot to draft documents right where you're already working, and suddenly, your lean team is shipping way faster. You're making fewer errors, and the best part? You're doing it all without adding a single new headcount. Okay, moving right along to section 2, scaling one-to-one personalization. Here is where we shift our focus to the real apex of the AI iceberg. These are the enterprise-level growth levers that take a business from broad, generic marketing to true individual personalization. Now, the old manual way of marketing heavily relied on rules-based segmentation, putting users into dozens of predefined buckets that only got updated maybe weekly or monthly. But that causes what we call segment bleed. That's when a user gets stuck in a high-loyalty VIP segment, even though they've actually been showing massive churn signals for the last few days. AI completely fixes this. It continuously updates unlimited individual profiles based on real-time signals, getting rid of that awkward segment bleed for good. So what does this look like in practice? Well, there are basically 5 core AI personalization techniques at play. You've got collaborative filtering, which Amazon famously uses to drive up to a 35% revenue uplift. But honestly, the real sweet spot is next best action modeling, or MBA. MBA is wild. It predicts the single most likely action to convert or retain a specific user at a specific moment. For most teams, deploying MBA across your CRM and email is going to give you the absolute fastest time to value. We're talking a 15 to 22% lift in conversions. Of course, you still have to create the content for all these personalized experiences, right? Well, large language models, LLMs, are totally changing the game here. By scaling dynamic content assembly, they are driving a massive 60 to 70% reduction in content production costs. And at the exact same time, they're multiplying the number of creative variants you can actually test. The economics of personalization have just decisively shifted in favor of teams using AI. All right, let's transition to section 3. The essential data foundation. This right here is the crucial plot twist of our story. We really need to dive below the surface of the iceberg to reveal what actually holds all these incredible AI tools up. But first, I want you to just pause for a second and think about this. Despite all the amazing technology we just talked about, why do Gartner's numbers show that a staggering 68% of these highly anticipated AI personalization projects severely underperform? What's going wrong? Well, here is the answer. It's almost never the algorithms. The real bottleneck is poor data quality and fragmented identity. It's just a fact that algorithms cannot fix siloed behavioral data. If your customer's web behavior isn't talking to their CRM record or their email engagement, your AI model is going to train on fragmented data and spit out completely incoherent recommendations. So, how do we fix this? You need 3 absolutely non-negotiable data prerequisites. First up, unified identity, using a customer data platform, or CDP. Second, low latency pipelines. You've got to use real-time event streaming instead of those outdated overnight batches. This is huge, by the way, because brands with sub-second pipelines generate 3.2 times higher ROI. And third, you need a consent architecture, an integrated consent management platform, or CMP, to make sure you are tracking all of this legally and ethically. And that brings us perfectly to Section 4, Privacy, Ethics, and Governance. These are the guardrails, folks. They protect your business and your consumers, which is absolutely critical in today's post-GDPR regulatory landscape.
These privacy-preserving techniques, they aren't just nice-to-haves anymore. They are the absolute technical baseline. Take on-device machine learning. It ensures behavioral data is processed without the raw data ever leaving the user's device. Then you have differential privacy, which adds a layer of mathematical noise to data sets so individual behavior simply can't be reverse engineered. And of course, first-party data strategies built through explicit consent, these are now the most durable personalization signals you can possibly get.
Now, alongside privacy, you also need rigorous governance. What does that mean? It means documenting exactly how your AI makes decisions, enforcing strict access controls, and continuously monitoring your models for drift and bias. When you combine strong data privacy with transparent tracking, you aren't just avoiding fines. You're supporting ethical decision-making that builds bulletproof long-term trust with your customers.
All right, let's wrap this up with Section 5, the phased AI rollout. We understand the tools, we know the data we need, and we have the guardrails. Now let's look at a highly actionable, step-by-step playbook for actually implementing all of this securely. We're going to use Alice Labs' proven 3-phase rollout as our guide here. Phase 1, weeks 1 through 8, is entirely about data unification. Get your house in order. Once that is rock solid, you move to Phase 2, a single-channel pilot. This is usually deploying that next best action model on email just to get a really clean A/B test. And only after you prove success there do you move to Phase 3, cross-channel expansion. Trust me, this steady, phased approach will always outperform some risky, chaotic Big Bang launch where you try to boil the ocean on day 1. By following this specific playbook, the financial impact actually becomes highly predictable. Look, a single-channel pilot might get you a solid 5% lift over your baseline segments, which is great. But when you scale that into a mature cross-channel AI program, you're looking at a 10 to 15% overall revenue uplift. We're talking real compounding growth driven directly by a smart, structured implementation. As we close out this explainer, I really want to reassure you about the underlying philosophy of all this. AI is not here to replace your great people. It is here to take over the routine, the repetitive, and the overly analytical work so that human beings can focus entirely on strategic, creative growth and empathy. It's all about amplification. So I'll leave you with this final thought for your own team. Are you ready to do the hard work and build a real AI data foundation? Or are you going to keep relying on fragmented, outdated segments while your competitors scale to true one-to-one personalization? The playbook is right here in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.